What's up, guys? Let's talk about some of the updates that are actually going on in the crypto space. So if you've been liking, subscribing, you've been awesome. And if you're watching this video, you've not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Now let's give some updates about some of the projects that are actually going on and making some waves in the crypto space. One of them is the Quackchain ICO. So the Quackchain ICO has been an ICO that has been generating a lot of buzz. And they already know that they already have a testnet that can do over 2,000 transactions per second. And they've raised over $16 million and they're looking to raise over, I think, $4 million. And it's very, very competitive right now. If you look at many of the spreadsheets, guys like Balina, Cross Crypto, many of these platforms are actually on this, and the hype around this project is really, really, really big. So you want to consider either getting part of it or whatsoever. Now, the next update we have is the BitGame. So the BitGame is one of the platforms that is actually pushing when it comes to artificial intelligence and the blockchain. You already know that the DeepbrainChain is a platform that want to help reduce the cost of computation when training AI models or whatsoever. And so that they want to also become a marketplace where people can actually exchange AI algorithms or whatsoever. Now they've migrated to their own blockchain now, and the per se of their platform mining rings is actually on. One of the videos I was watching in the conference, the founder was saying that if you buy these machines within 9 months, you'll be able to get your ROI back. And then moving on, there is one thing that's so amazing. It's one game. So they've launched one game, a game where they can actually it's similar to Decentraland. You can be playing the game and get a feel of virtual reality and all that. So it has even been reported on other media outlets and all that. So DeepbrainChain, I believe they are actually pushing on this stuff. And now DeepbrainChain also to launch AI blockchain research center in Silicon Valley, and they are pledging to invest $100 million in the next 3 years for their AI stuff. So this is one of the platforms that's actually pushing a lot of stuff. And then you have Mark.space. So Mark.space is something that is very, very revolutionary in the sense that they want to change the way we view websites. That you don't need headsets, you don't need whatever, you don't need goggles to be able to use virtual reality. Just simply take this stuff. You don't need programming language. You start creating websites that can experience virtual reality. And then moving on, we have Rivetz. So Rivetz is one of the platforms that is trying to solve the blockchain security stuff with the trusted execution environment. So what that means is in your mobile phone, there is an environment. I'm not a technical guy. I'm not a technical guy, but what I mean, a kind of trusted execution environment. This is kind of environment where we can say, okay, this any execution that is actually coming from this environment, we can actually trust it. So a very good example could be, let's take for example, there is a way you could program the trusted execution environment on your mobile phone and say, okay, if I am in this place at this time, then trigger this. So partnering with Telefonica, I think Telefonica is one of the big telecom giants in Spain. They want to help produce mobile wallets, I think in billions, and they are really, really pushing it. And I really like that. You know, one of the things about the crypto space is this: it's very, very hard to separate noise from real project, because most of the times most of the projects don't really get attention. The real project don't really get attention compared to the fake project. Even with the coming of this stuff we call the airdrops. So airdrops, where people get compensated when you talk about projects. There's nothing wrong in that, but it becomes wrong where the stuff people are talking about, they don't have any substance in them. It's really, really a problem. Now the updates with the Achain platform is that they've added 8 contracts this week to make it 120 contracts. And then they were voted to Indodash community coin competition. And then they've established a technical partnership with South Korea Etomato to help develop their main chain. And then they are cooperating with Otto, a social coin by Wanshang Film Corporation, to create unmanned theaters, offering an artificial intelligence solution for better customer experience. And some of the core developments we have developing test tools to support Python. Achain, one of the Achain stuff about Achain is that like creating the kind of machines that will not only support Solidity, it will support Java, it will support Python, it will support as many programming language as possible. And then designing decentralized and cross-link projects. Then they're designing the new version of Light Wallet. And the second snapshot of the 4th lockup phase has been activated. If you are those that participated in the lockup and distributed, I think 92 million of those issued. And the next update is that of Genaro Network. Now, Genaro Network is one of the platforms you should actually be looking into in this year, because if you really watch carefully, most of the blockchains applications, they are still deployed on centralized server. Even though we talk about, oh, this is it, most of them are still put on decentralized server. And with partnerships, they just announced a partnership with Zcash, and they also have other partnership with other persons. Genaro Network is actually pushing it because they are the first blockchain platform to not only be a Turing complete blockchain, but also have a decentralized exchange within it. And that is a very, very good news. With the Genaro Garden in there, where you can actually upload your files and all that. And then you have the Genaro sharer, where you as a person, you can actually download the Genaro sharer and be a host. So you have the Genaro Eden, you have the Genaro sharer and all that. So platforms like Bluesay and Genaro are going to really push it. Coupled with the fact that Genaro is in one solution that you know, like having your own blockchain here, trying to create a smart contract here, or your DRP, and then looking for another solution. No, you have the two solutions in one. And then moving on, we have Zcash has been added to Gemini, and that actually spiked the price, I think, to over $300 and something dollars. So they are I think one of the first exchange added to be trading private secure cryptocurrency, Gemini, Zcash. And you know, this exchange belongs to the two Bitcoin twins, or something like how you can actually call them. And then moving on, we have the news from Electroneum. So Electroneum is one of the cryptocurrencies that I think they have over 100 mobile miners. And though there are some conflicts, like people saying, "Oh, this thing is not mining," and there was a time I was educating people about Bitcoin mining and all that. Yeah, people say, "Well, I'm mining Bitcoin with my phone." Well, they should have told them that it's not mining; it's simply kind of a task. And when you complete a task, okay, you watched a video, or you downloaded an app, or you clicked on something, you did a survey. Okay, we're giving you such and such. Now, Electroneum is not really doing mobile mining, but what Electroneum is doing is what we call like those days we had things like Bitcoin faucet, where like the things I've already told you before, just like completing the two tasks, you could actually earn Bitcoin. So what Electroneum does is it ships these particular cryptocurrencies to people for basically doing or completing easy tasks, not actually mining. Now, DishIt, another great story of how Electroneum is being adopted and being used by other businesses. DishIt, the crypto classified are powered by Electroneum, who exploded in the UK with over 500,000 new users within 24 hours. This shit is a decentralized mobile classified app that allows users to sell and discover used goods near them for eating using their smartphone. So a lot of what people are saying, one of the things about the blockchain space is that, okay, they've also been featured on BBC and all that. They're also going for instant payments and all that. One of the things about blockchain space is that we always ask things like, where is the code? Where is this thing? Where is that? Well, one of the things you have to understand is that it is one thing to have tech, then it's another thing to have utility. So if you're asking for the tech, if you don't have the tech, well, maybe there is that could be a topic of discussion. If some people are saying Electroneum is something that is they fucked off Monero, there is no problem. Cryptocurrency is open source. You can fuck up any blockchain, provided that you have the community to develop it. So you can take the Bitcoin Cash fucked up from Bitcoin. They have the community to develop it. So also you can go and take your Bitcoin. You take the Bitcoin code. You can fuck it and call it Bitcoin whatsoever, Bitcoin Y, Bitcoin Z, Bitcoin whatsoever. If you have the community to develop it, not just to develop it, you have the community for marketing, to push for adoption, to push for this, that, and that, then you can actually go. So people fucking off and say, okay, we want to create a more cryptocurrency, there is no problem with that, provided that you can actually bring it to me. So what Electroneum is doing, they may not have the source code, they may not have the right developers, there is no problem with that. But though there is a problem with that, it can actually lead, but they're actually trying to, they're still coming up. I don't give them, I'm not saying that they should not have a solid team, but they are still pushing their stuff. And one of the things I believe is not the cryptocurrency that have the best tech that is going to succeed, but it's the cryptocurrency that has the ease of use, not only has the ease of use, that is usable. Many of these cryptocurrency stuff you see, they are just object of speculation. There is no real substance to them. There is no utility. There is no utility in most of them. And you see them, they are not going to stand the test of time. For a project to stand the test of time, there has to be reuse. So if you are coming up with a, let's say, one of these payments platform, okay, if this is a platform that has 500,000 users and they accept Electroneum, that is great news. That is great news. Free international cost. You can see the services they are offering. Logo making services, $60. You pay with Electroneum. So this is just the one we're talking about, the Monero, the fucked up for this and all that. The one we're talking about. How many of those platforms now have been in use? It's just a question. So guys, that is the update I have about this platform. Always know that cryptocurrency, if it does not have the use, it may have the tech, it has no place to stand. You must have the tech. Tech is good. You must have an ecosystem around it. You must have a community. So guys, thank you for all that have been subscribing, and do have a very wonderful day.